Let's get our proceedings underway. Our first presenter is Mariana Palacios, who is, I'll let her introduce herself, but she is of YouTube ballet pianist training fame. If you have not seen Mariana's YouTube channel, you must go visit because she's making wonderful, really professional looking and very engaging videos for how to train to play ballet class. It's really fantastic. She's a wonderful player. I've seen her perform some classical things on YouTube, and she is handling a lot of our, actually all of our social media for the guild, and is doing a fantastic job of that, teaching me how to get into the Instagram age. And so, with that short introduction, I'll let Mariana say more about herself if she likes. Otherwise, she's going to give us a presentation to start out this morning. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to the third day of our virtual conference. Okay, take it away, Mariana.
Yes. Hi everyone. So nice to see your faces and to see your body moving, not only in picture. Very nice to be here, and thank you for letting me use this space to present some ideas. And yes, I was thinking, to really to share with you my experience and how I arrived to this point, like why I created these YouTube videos and why I'm so involved with social media and what motivates me with social media, and I hope it will motivate you also. I know for some of you social media, is something super far of your the things that you use daily, but I think it's a powerful tool that we can use dance musicians to share, um, and to connect really in a very easy way, and to see what other people are doing and everything. Okay, I'm sorry for my English if I do mistakes. I hope you understand the overall of what I say. Um, I don't speak so much English nowadays in Spain. I'm spending in Spain now the whole summer and the beginning of the autumn. Um, yeah, and yes, so yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background, because since I was a little girl, I started to dance a lot, but a lot of ballet and to play piano, both of them at the same time. And well, after many years to do education and everything, I ended up doing the bachelor degree in classical piano, and with a specialization in contemporary music. And a few years after that, when I finished my studies, I ended up, of course, playing for ballet classes, because it was very natural for me, because I grew up, in both fields. So, of course, playing for ballet classes was something that came, yeah, supernatural. And since the beginning, I felt, um, well, no, first of all, in the beginning, when I started to discover pianists playing for ballet classes, I was fascinated with the level, with the quality, how versatile they they are, we are, and yeah, I was very impressed, because I came from classical education, and it's like when you study classical piano, classical music, it's like, wow, you do something amazing, you play this amazing repertoire and all of this. And after a while I felt that, okay, I'm not doing something new. I'm not, what I'm giving, I'm playing the repertoire that so many musicians has played and recorded in such a perfect way. So I was a little bit frustrated with the classical education, and when I arrived to play for ballet classes, and of course because I didn't have experience, I knew the ballet vocabulary and everything, so it was easy for me. The beginning, I didn't have this this awful moment that many musicians has starting playing for dance classes. But when I started to watch to other pianists, in order to understand more, and to copy and to learn and to um, ask for tips, no, I was really impressed. Like they could improvise or they could read any kind of music. They could play in different music styles. They could adapt to the indications. They, well, all these characteristics that we develop, no, in our field. And I was really really impressed. And uh, and from the beginning, I asked myself, how is it possible that no one, in musicians world speak about this? We speak about, oh, a jazz musician, a classical musician, an amazing teacher, an amazing orchestra, but no one mentioned in all my career like about this profession. Well, one teacher mentioned once, and she hated. So that was the only reference that I had. But I knew that I was going to like it, because when I was taking ballet classes and there was a pianist, I could feel the difference, and I could feel that something different was going on in the ballet class, and I could see that the dancers really appreciate the when there is a musician in the room, in the studio. But I couldn't understand. I was like, why so many amazing musicians are playing every day, thousands of classes, and playing all kind of repertoire in different, all this richness in our profession, and no one is speaking about it. And if someone is speaking about it, it's kind of like, ah, you play for dance. Ah, what do? You are in the corner playing there, and no one cares about you. And when I jump into the studio, I was like, this is totally different. So that was the first, like, like, click on my mind, like, how is this possible? So then I continued playing. I moved to Sweden in 2010, and I was playing in different places and learning and listening to different pianists. I went to London to listen amazing pianists, to Copenhagen, to Stockholm. I always I love to listen to other musicians because it gives me so much inspiration, and I need it, no? And in 2012, I started a master degree in music theory, and I decided to do a research about the role of the ballet pianist. And I did interviews, and well, you can find my work somewhere there. If you are interested, I can send you the link. And at this point, I started to of course, to see all the bibliography, you say, or bible, I don't know, all the books and research. And I found things, of course, the books of Catherine, and the thesis of Jessic, and all the theses that we know. And but even though I thought that is so little, it's like, I can write the bibliography for the like, only books connected with playing for ballet classes, in one page. And I was really surprised. I was like, how is this possible? And also, when you look for things on internet, is nothing. There's almost nothing there. So I always thought, like, there is such a incoherence here, no? It's like, how is this possible, no? So, and after that, in 2014, I started a postgraduate in Copenhagen with Kim Helway, an amazing musician. And I had the opportunity to travel a lot and to meet a lot of musicians there. I went to Paris to study with Debra, and I went to Finland to study with David Joken, and I met again more and more amazing musicians. And again, the same, like, we have this little bubble that no one knows. So, since, like, I would say, like, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot, all the time, for everything, for cooking, for just entertainment, or things that I want to learn, or whatever. And I was fascinated by this platform, like, how is possible that so many knowledge is for free here, and so many interesting things, and there is nothing again about about playing for ballet classes. Well, really few. Karen had these videos. I don't know when you created the videos, Karen. Maybe 4 years ago, something like this. Well, you have
during
some.
during lockdown. Yeah,
Sorry.
last year during lockdown.
Ah, last year. It was last year. Ah, okay, okay. I think it was earlier. Yeah, and also this heavy piano had some videos, but really few. So because I love YouTube, I decided, okay, I have to do something. I have to do something, and I've been writing notes while I'm in the ballet class, like just thought, like, okay, why I'm playing this? Is useful or not? Or why this teacher is marking like this? What happened with this style of music? Random things, and then I started to collect all these ideas in top of the research that I did in 2014. So I started like to build ideas, and then finally this year I decided, okay, that's the moment, to start with this. And it was very, very difficult just to decide which camera, which angle, which light, which microphones, and everything, and which ideas. And but well, I did it. I exposed myself to the world, like thinking, like, please, I hope everyone like this, because it was so much work. So, and it looked like, like it's helping. The best message that I can get from other musicians is when they say, "Oh, thanks, it's helping me a lot." This is like, yes. And yeah, I wanted to create like dialogues around the videos. This doesn't happen, so you know I was a little bit like, oh, why don't experienced pianists are commenting more, like, oh, I do this because I engage, I try to engage musicians to write, but I know it's difficult to write comments. Sometimes we are super busy and it takes time, so I know things take time. But I'm happy about it. And also another thing that I try to put more effort is on Instagram, because every time that at the beginning, when I started to show one video, like, okay, let's see if people like it or no, or maybe, I'm not playing perfectly, I don't know, should I, all these thoughts that all of us we have, no, like, oh, is this good or no? One day I was like, okay, I post something and I post another thing, and I started to receive very nice comments. Like, people are very happy to see what we do, and also people from, like, are not musicians, and then I realized even more, like, our profession is so powerful and so beautiful, and we can show a lot. And the goal of this for me is to make this profession visible, because I think, I was thinking, like, why, this question that I had from the beginning, why musicians don't know this profession, or if they know it, they think that is something boring or not interesting or whatever. But then when you are in the profession, you find so many musicians very motivated with this profession and that are very happy to do it. Um, so yeah, so then I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it. It's just to do it and to see, if people react, like, in a positive way, and the things that the things that to create content that interests people, of course, because if you do something that no one care about, well, then it's such a loss of energy, no? But I could see it, like, even people from outside our profession are get very interested, and they like it, and they're like, ah, why you do this, why so beautiful, la 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 la, so little by little I'm trying to create this picture of us, at least my vision, and why I'm so passionate about this, why is such a wonderful profession, no? um yes, so this is what I wanted to say. I decided from the beginning to only focus on the ballet class, because, well, I have played a little bit for contemporary, but not so much. So I mean, I can play for contemporary, but I don't feel like I'm an expert, no, or to share. I can share my experience, but I was like, okay, no, I only focus on ballet class because this is something that I can't control, and also I have the empathy with the dancers, because I've been a dancer, so I feel comfortable, speaking also about how the dancers communicate, and all the psychology of our profession also, that is very rich and complicated sometimes. And yeah, so thanks to social media, I'm creating a lot of connections with people. I remember, like, 1 year ago I spoke a lot with a pianist from Korea, and then she sent me some scores, and then we share tips, and then I connect with Laurel Lear, for example, from Canada, and we were talking, and I connect with a pianist from Mexico, pianist from Chile, and pianist from New York, and you can speak with the person, which is amazing, like you are in the other place of the planet, and you can see what they do. So I encourage everyone to post more, because we need more presence. Because he said, I mean, now everyone is checking social media, so it's like everyone has Instagram. I mean, from my generation, and even more and more and more and more. So I know it's difficult for, I mean, no everyone. It's not that I tell you you must do it. No, of course you have to feel the connection, of course. But yeah, but I really encourage you, because I see the powerful tool that we have, that all of us we have, for free. Uh, yeah, so
Thank
that's
you,
my
Yeah,
my
thank you, Mariana. I think we should open the floor to reactions and questions from people.
yes, yes. And also, as John say, I'm taking care of the Instagram account and Facebook account of the guild. So also, if you have ideas, if you have something that you would like to comment, you can say it here, or you can write into, whatever, how you want. You can contact me directly or whatever. I have actually, I had a lot of ideas on Friday. When I saw all your faces, I started to have ideas, like what we can do, to show this profession, and to, yeah.
I have a question kind of about how to. Social media is quite dispersed, right? There's stuff here, there's stuff there, there's your YouTube channel. And I really want to emphasize to everyone here, you got to check out her YouTube channel. It's amazing. Um, uh, but there's stuff, kind of dispersed, which in a way is a good thing about social media. But I'm wondering, how are there ways to like centralize? Like, here's a central point where you kind of. I'm thinking for the guild. I assume the website, but people don't go to the web that much. Like,
No,
how do we interrelate all these things beautifully?
no, websites now is like a presentation card, like you have it and sometimes you check it, it's like a presentation. But now people in general, I think we don't have time to check websites in general. Of course we do if you are interested, of course. But I focus on Instagram, because I see that it's a platform that is there all the time. Boom, boom, boom. When it started, it's changing all the time and adapting to new things, but it's there. The young people are using it, like, and also in my generation and older generations, and I can see that it's pretty many people. And one thing that is very useful, and this is a tip for John, it's like when you can use hashtags, the famous hashtags, because when you follow a hashtag, then it will appear in your feed. I think is the word in English. It will appear the things that you are interested. For example, Korean food, hashtag Korean food. When someone posts something with this hashtag, you will see it. So that's the way. For example, I use the hashtag, I follow the hashtag ballet pianist, dance musician, or whatever, no? And then you see, maybe you are not connected with someone, but if that person post a picture or a video and use this hashtag, you will have it. It will appear, boom, someone with a hashtag. So that's the way of very very fast connection.
I think your video, I've looked at some of your videos actually, and as a percussionist, though, it's still very helpful because you get the form and the structure, or how ballet class is structured, and then how I can interpret that with percussion. So again, translates over regardless if you're a pianist or not. And you're absolutely right. a website is basically just a business card these
Yeah,
days. It's like to get someone to your website is you pretty much have to be famous.
exactly.
So social media, YouTube, Instagram, I mean, absolutely.
Hmm.
But for you to put in all that work is pretty amazing. It's like a
Yeah,
job.
yeah, exactly. No, you cannot. I from February to till June. Oh my God, every week.
Yeah,
It was hard. It was hard, but it was worth it, and I learned so much, and it was a nice project.
it's just very generous. Yeah.
Thank you,
It is very generous of you, Mariana.
thank you, Pat.
I wanted to say, wow, when I started back in the day, like 15 years ago, I had only had just a small percentage of those videos that you have created. That would have been amazing and so helpful, you know, because sometimes I believe, depending on where you work, uh, you say that you learned a lot by listening to other musicians. When I started, I didn't have the chance. Like in my city, it's only 6, 7 people doing this. And at that time, most of them, they didn't even want to open the door of their studios, which is
Yeah,
something
exactly.
that I think is important to talk about too. How some dance musicians become, I don't know how to say this in English, but a little bit territorial, could we say? Like they feel, you know, we all know we create a special environment in the dance class. And sometimes people feel if you come inside to listen, to learn, it's like you're going to come and steal ideas or stuff like that. So that's why I love so much. And I'm a big fan since the first moment you told me you were thinking about doing this. I've always been a big fan of this idea of the whole amount of work, which is unbelievable. Every week I will watch these videos and say, oh my God, this girl is going crazy, you know. It's like, this is a lot of work, but it's such a wonderful tool. It's going to help so many musicians. So bravo, you know. I think
Thank you.
it's great. And then on the other hand, I also wanted to say, when you're talking about Instagram, I never ever thought to use it as a tool in this way. It actually happened during lockdown, which is when I met you. One day I said, well, why not let's search for this hashtag, dance musicians or ballet pianist, things like that. And I started to find a whole universe of people out there, just like you said, playing all this amazing amount of music, giving this, sharing this huge amount of information. And from your Instagram profile to Maestro Greco to there's so many pianists out there sharing their everyday routine that sometimes I go, I'm on my way to work and I may listen on the way. I'm with my headphones and I may listen someone playing something and say, oh, this is nice. I'm going to play for a frappe today in the class, you know, and things like that. So it is great. It is great. It's a great tool. I think it has a big potential if we know how to, like you said, you know, how to use it. And the other thing that I wanted to say, I just wanted to ask you about recordings, which is something that it's very important that we all talk about. During my research, which has been already for 5 years, I've interviewed a lot of musicians, a lot of dancers, great dancers, and there's many different opinions about recordings. But in my case, for example, when I started, and I'm telling you, like back in the day, there was no Instagram, no YouTube, no nothing. For me, recordings were essential. It was the way for me to learn how the structure of a class is. That was the only way, because nobody would open the door to let me go inside and listen. So what do I have? See, the only thing that I have is the recording. So that's how I met Joe Sugayastegui. That's how I contacted him. That's how he became my master. And that's how he was obviously, and he is a very generous and she's a musician. So, but then I've interviewed other musicians which are so scared about how the record seems to improve, I don't know, invade the space, and how many dance studios are finally no using live performances, live musicians, because there's the recording that it seems to be kind of a conflict. So what do you think? Recordings, great tool to promote and to also visible, to also put out there our profession, let the world know what we do, or is it against us? And if we use them through, for example, I think about Maestro Greco, I think about, I'll say it, Laurent Chocron, the pianist of the opera in Paris. He's created the iDance music, which is also a technology kind of a tool that now everybody can use. It's great because it puts a face to a lot of musicians out there recording music. But is it good? Is it bad? So I just wanted to throw you that,
Yeah.
that idea and see what you think and
Yeah.
what everyone in the room thinks about this.
Well, I think it's good. I mean, because there are thousands of little studios, small studios in the world, and they cannot pay a musician, but they need to use good music, and they are so. This has happened to me. People asking me like, "Do you have recorded music?" And I don't have, and it's like there is a need. So I think it's important. I mean, even of course, we would love to have more work and more musicians, but I think if we create good recorded music, like for example, if you love the albums of certain pianists, you as a ballet teacher or as a dancer, you are dreaming to have this musician live. So I think it's part of the whole thing. It's like when you buy when you pay Spotify to listen a musician, but you want to see the musician live. So I think it's part. That's my point of view.
If I could just come in there, to Paz and Mariana, I think with the advent of G5 coming ever so soon, there has been a lot of work done on being able to play instantly around the world, and the idea of it actually never having to go through the pre-recorded stage, and if it's possible that that we can start working globally in a live situation. I know that Luca Tieppo has been looking at that in Italy and trying to persuade the Italian government to do some research on that. And just before lockdown, I know that some of the jazz players were managing to make gigs together from different locations around the world. And wouldn't that be incredible, is to be able to amass smaller dance studios, like Mariana is saying. They can't afford to have a musician all the time, but if we could do some masterclass ideas that lots of little studios can come together and experience live, literally live,
Yeah.
with technology now.
Yes. Well, this is happening already in one way. I mean, since the pandemic, there are
Yeah.
platforms where you have the ballet teacher in New York, the
Yes.
the pianist in Buenos Aires, and the students all over the world. So this is happening already. So yeah, I think it's great. Mm.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Ty, for those that don't know me.
Hi.
I recognize a few people, and I'm here with Bill. We're in Houston, Texas, at Houston Ballet. So I had a question for Mariana and for Karen. In terms of, when you got in your infancy, when you literally was like, okay, I'm gonna post a video, or I'm gonna post an audio clip. Like, can you kind of talk through what that process was for you and what your experience was like? Because from my perspective, sometimes I feel like a little overwhelmed, like, okay, I've got to get copyright, I got to address that issue, or, if I want to do something with the dancer, are there any legality things there, dealing with that union, or, just all sorts of little things like that. Like, what in particular, like, what was your experience like when you were like, okay, I'm gonna dive off the deep end, I'm gonna do this. This is exactly what I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I follow a lot of people that start their own business, all this mentality, like how you fight with your, oh my God, this and this, oh, I have to check this. And at one point you have to do it. You have to do it, and then you will learn by doing. Because if you, for example, I was very worried about my English, like, oh, I'm going to do mistakes and it's going to sound weird. You know, even the word pianist is awful for me because one person tell me that sounds very weird. And I was like, oh my god, and I have to say pianist every thousand of times. And at the beginning I was saying ballet, and one English pianist told me like, Mariana, is ballet in English. I was like, oh, okay, okay. So I you learn by doing, and if you find problems, you will solve them. You cannot control everything, and I believe that if you do something with a good purpose, I think it's going to work well. If you are doing something to help others, if you, for example, when I do a video with a ballet teacher, it was a long conversation. I told them like, I would love to do a video with you about this because this is so interesting, and then find the day, and then I show them the first edit video, and then you know taking time and trying to you know not think so much. Also, for example, when I was playing, in some videos, I didn't have time to do 3 takes of every, and I do mistakes while I play. But then I was like, well, this is real life, we do mistakes, and I play very
Yeah.
dirty. And then I was like, well, this is me, this is life. It cannot be. And actually, I think humans, we like when we see something that is more, when everything is perfect, it's like, it's something artificial. But when we see that something is more human, we connect more. So yeah, even in some videos at the beginning, I was, in some videos, I was speaking very slow at the beginning, and then suddenly I was speaking very fast. And then I saw the video and I'm like, oh, why I spoke like this? And in one video I was reading because I felt scared. And then I decided to improvise, and then it was very difficult to edit. So you learn by doing.
Okay. Thank you, Mariana. Karen, what was your process like?
But actually, hello Ty, I haven't seen you for ages.
I know, I know.
I thought maybe you were asking about some of the copyright issues, which maybe I know that the UK is different. I think we've all got different copyright problems in our particular countries that we come from. We've got PRS, Performing Rights Society, and the mechanical. I'm just trying to remember the mechanical copyright. And when I first started to make recordings, I had to pay an enormous amount of money to license any of the melodies that I was using. So it was so much easier not to use famous stuff. But then weirdly, PRS has relaxed the online licenses, and you pay a nominal fee per year now. Without them having to know. Originally, I had to say it's 1 minute 54 of the Gershwin piano concerto, and they would tally up how much that costs, and they're really not interested anymore because I think it's far too much problem for them. So from a practical point of view, Ty, the copyright issues are probably more relaxed from our point of view because there is so much request of one society that they're literally drowning, and it's slightly to our advantage is to be able to pay a license and get going. I don't know if other folk have different experiences in the US.
This is a whole topic we've gone over for many, many years, but in the context of playing live around the world, it's definitely something we should investigate. I am just getting ready for our next presenter, Manju. Maybe one last comment from someone while I download his files and get them ready to go. And we'll make it like 1 more minute. Andy, awesome.
Okay. I just wanted to say there's a really inspiring moment from yesterday's talk. I think it was Sharon, correct? And you said you were going to put that clip up about something that just came up in this talk of the live versus recording. And if you didn't see that, that's worth the 1.5 minutes of listening to her talk about her symbiosis with people in the room. And then I don't know if we have time for the actual question part, but is are there any other things besides the hashtag that you found really propelled your videos forward with a lot of other people seeing them?
Hashtags really, I think is a good tool. Yeah. Also, I mean, social media is a social thing. So when you interact is when you get interaction in the other way. It's not like, oh, I open, oh, I look, ha ha, ah, nice, No, I mean, you have to interact. If you put a video and I like your video and I don't interact with you, you are not going to, okay. But if I put a like and then I tell you, wow, this such a I love this song or whatever, or such a good idea, then you will check my Instagram because you will be, oh, is someone interested? It's like life, If I'm interested in you, you will be interested in me because we interact like this. So it's just to think like it's something organic, It's not like, oh, beautiful picture, oh, people are so fake. No, well, people show what they want to show, of course. I'm not going to show my miseries to everyone. I will show my miseries to my friends, But in social media, you show, of course, what you like to show. So I don't like when people are like, oh, social media is fake. Depends. But for our profession, I think it can be so real because we can show in real time what we do. Yeah. Yes. Why not?
Wonderful. And we're having an amazing social experience this weekend. It's really great. Mariana, thank you so much. Make sure to reach out to her. Hashtag Mariana Palacios pianist. And YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. It's fantastic. What a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop recording that for now.